Today we're going to build this custom animated subscribe button which you can easily adapt to your own designs. And then at the end of the video I'll show you a really cool way to save it with audio, and then you can easily drag and drop it onto all your future videos. So as usual, we're going to start off in the edit page and we'll jump into the effects tab and just grab a Fusion composition. Pop that on the timeline and then we can jump straight into Fusion. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we'll grab a background, pop that into the media out. Then we're going to make that background transparent. So grab this and pull it down to the black and then pull the alpha down. Next, we'll add a merge and another background and a rectangle. Pop the background into the merge and the rectangle into the mask of the background. Okay, so this background we want to make like a sort of slightly off-white colour, which is E4, E7, F3. Then we'll come into the rectangle, we'll rename that by pressing F2. We're going to call that white border. And then lastly we're just going to round the corners, a little bit of that corner radius there. And then we'll resize that as well. Let's zoom in a little bit, then we'll just copy and paste that, pop that in here and it'll make another merge for us. Then what we're going to do is we'll change the background colour of this one to EA333D. Then we'll rename that one to red box and we're going to resize that one a little bit. So just bring the sides in and the top down a little bit, and then what we'll also need to do is adjust the radius just slightly so that they match up. Okay, so highlight the background and then we'll add a drop shadow and then we'll also add a transform. So the drop shadow, let's just get that sorted. So we want to bring the distance down quite a bit, something like that, and we'll also bring the blur down quite a lot as well, something like that. We want it really quite subtle. I'll just change the angle as well so that it's more just coming down towards the bottom left there. Okay, good. So let's just scoot these off to one side and now we're going to construct the little bell. So we'll add another merge. Then we'll grab the polygon tool, just pop that in the other viewer so we can see what we're doing. So for this one, we'll just make the first basic shape of the bell. Hold down Command if you need to adjust these arms on their own. So we want a shape roughly like that. Then what we'll do is we'll grab an ellipse and we'll pop the polygon into that ellipse and then switch the viewer to that one. We'll just take down the size by quite a lot and then just place that at the bottom there. So now that can go into a background, and the background we'll want to go into a transform. And then what I'm going to do is I'll add a multi-merge in here. So this transform can go into the background of the multi-merge. The multi-merge can go into this merge 3 at the bottom here. And now we can see our bell on the main screen here. Highlight the background and just change that to white, and then we're just going to construct the little ringers either side of the bell here. Just before I do that, I'll just highlight this multi-merge and just pop another transform in there. And we'll also label this polygon at the top here. We'll name that bell. Then we'll grab another polygon and a background. Background's also going to be white. Pipe the polygon into the background, mask input, then this background can go into one of these inputs on the merge, one of the white inputs, not the blue input. So we'll start drawing that. We can just roughly do 4 points like this. Close that off and then we can just sort of reshape it how we want. So what I want to do is get that so that it's a kind of regular rectangle shape, and then just hold down Command and just drag these arms here on the sides so that we kind of match this curve here like that, and then do the same at the top so that it's sort of the same shape at the top. Okay, so then what we can do is just grab these and copy and paste them, and for this one we're going to add a transform transform node and input that into another input on the multi-merge. Then we'll come into the transform and we'll just flip it, and then we'll use that transform just to sort of place it exactly where we want. Okay, so now the final thing is we come into this transform we've got at the bottom here, and we can use that to get it to the exact size that we want and then also place it where we want it on the screen. Okay, let's just make a bit more room here. So next what we'll do is we'll highlight the red box and the background underneath and the drop shadow, and then copy and paste them over here. Rename that cover box. Also going to do a little bit of reshaping of that, so we can get rid of the corner radius, bring in the sides a little bit. Then what we'll do is we'll grab the drop shadow, input that into this merge here, and that'll make another merge for us. And then let's adjust this drop shadow. So for this one, I want the angle to come out of this right hand side here. We'll just turn the blur up a little bit like that as well. Turn the drop distance up as well. And then I'll actually just take the shadow strength down. I want it to be a bit more subtle than that. Now, important part, what we want to do, just to make sure that there isn't any of the drop shadow kind of overhanging at the bottom here, see here, what we'll do is we'll just grab the output of the red box, drag that all the way across and pop it into the mask of this drop shadow here. That just makes sure that we keep the drop shadow within the borders of the bigger red box there. We'll add another rectangle and a background into the mask of the background, and then I'll grab another merge. This one can go into the green of the merge. What I'm actually going to do is just grab this and pop it into the yellow background of this merge and then connect that up here. So we join those together. We'll resize this and we're just going to make a little highlight along this edge here. So we want to make this quite a thin line really. Let's zoom in a bit more for this. Pop that at the edge there. I'm going to change the colour to a pinkish sort of colour. So I'll use EC726A. That's the hex code. And we'll just make sure we place that just right on that edge there. Let's zoom out again. Okay, that's looking good. Let's add our text in now. Just tidy these up a little bit. And I'll also just rename this rectangle H line. A horizontal line. So we'll grab a text plus node, pop that into the node tree, subscribe in. Now you can get really creative here. You can quite dramatically change the look of the overall thing just by what font you select for this. I'm going to go for Futura, I think. I quite like that one. And we'll start off with this just off to one side, trying to just center it within this sort of left hand rectangle here. So this distance and this distance I want to be roughly the same. So we've got one last thing to make now, which is a pointer. So we're going to grab another polygon and another background, pop that into the background, and then we also want another drop shadow and another transform, and then we merge that in like that. So let's draw our pointer, select the polygon node there. So we'll just do a simple pointer. I'm doing it in the middle of the screen here just so that this handle is over the top of it. It just makes it easier later on for positioning purposes. So do 4 points like that. Let's go into the background and change the colour to white, and then we'll change the drop shadow as well. We want the angle to kind of roughly match the subscribe, so it's just coming down to the left. Let's just adjust the distance a little bit and the blur, and then take the shadow strength down a touch as well. Generally I think shadows look better if they're sort of reasonably subtle. Okay, so now we can just grab the transform and resize this to size that we want, and we can just move that out of the way by grabbing the handle there. Okay, so that's our subscribe built out. Now we're ready to do our animation. So let's scoot everything back over this way and start at this end. So let's start off with the animation for the red box. If we go on the drop shadow here, then go to frame 40 and pop a keyframe on the drop distance. Then move 4 frames forwards to frame 44, quite a mouthful, and pop another keyframe on the drop distance. Then we go in between the two to frame 42 and just drop that drop distance down to 0. Then we go into the transform, go back to 40, pop a keyframe on the size, over to 44, another keyframe on the size, and then to 42, and just drop the size down a little bit. And while we're here, I'll also just do the same with the text as well. So start at frame 40, keyframe on the size, frame 44, another keyframe on the size, and then at 42 we just drop the size a little bit. Next we want this transform that's attached to the bell polygon, so that's transform 2, and we'll go to frame 60 and put a keyframe on the angle. One thing to note here actually is you want to make sure that your pivot point is in the middle of the bell here, sort of near the top. The pivot point is this X here, if you can see that. So if I move the pivot point, there you go. So you want to make sure that that X is sort of somewhere around there. So you adjust that in here in the transform node anyway. So frame 60, we'll pop a keyframe on the angle, and then we go 2 frames forwards, move this to the left a little bit, another 2 frames forwards, move it to the right, another 2. You keep doing this until you get to frame 74, and at 74 just have it go back to the middle. Okay, that's that one done. So let's go into we didn't rename these actually. This polygon here, we'll rename that as ringer left, and this one we'll rename as ringer right. So let's start with ringer left. Go to frame 60 again, drop the level down to 0 and pop a keyframe on there. Go 2 frames forwards and bring the level up, another 2 frames, bring it down, and keep doing that until you get to frame 74 again. Then we'll go into ringer right. For this one we'll go to frame 62. Again, drop the level down, pop a keyframe on there, and then same again, 2 frames forwards, level up, 2 frames forwards, level down. Cool, okay, so that's those done. Next we move on to the drop shadow for the cover box. So that's this drop shadow here. So go to frame 48, pop a keyframe on the shadow strength, and then go to frame 44 and drop that shadow strength all the way down to 0. Then come into the H line, and at frame 48 we'll pop a keyframe on the level. Then we just go back 1 frame and drop that level to 0. Then we select this merge at the bottom here, merge 4. We want to go to frame 48 and pop a keyframe on the center X and Y. Then we go to frame 44 and we move the X across like this so that it covers up the bell there. Just move it so you can just see the corners peeking up there, and then bring it back a tiny bit. Next we're going to just keyframe this text a little bit so it moves into the center. So select the merge underneath, merge 6 here, and at frame 48 we'll pop a keyframe on the center X and Y. Then at frame 44 we just drag the X so that the text is in the center of the box, something like that. So far we've got this. Cool. So now we'll just animate this pointer. Let's go to fit so I can see the whole thing. And if you highlight this transform at the bottom of the pointer, we didn't rename that as well. Just quickly do that. So highlight this transform at the bottom here. Let's just grab the pointer and bring it off screen here. And we'll go to frame 4 and put a keyframe on the center X and Y of that. Then we go to frame 28 and move the pointer up so that it's just pointing into the middle of the subscribe box. Then go to frame 45 and pop another keyframe on the center X and Y. Then go to frame 48, bring it down to here. Go to frame 49, pop another keyframe, and then go to frame 53 and bring it up to the bell here. Then frame 60, pop another keyframe on there, and then come to frame 65, and we can bring that down and off screen. Now we'll just add a little bit of extra animation to that. So first of all, let's go to frame 40, and we're still in the transform. Just pop a keyframe on the size. Go to frame 44, pop another keyframe on the size, and then we go to 42 and just bring the size down a little bit. So that's 0.64. Then we come to frame 55, pop another keyframe on the size, and frame 59, another keyframe, and then 57, and again we drop that size down a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got so far. Cool, looking good. Okay, so we're very nearly there now. The last thing to do is add some audio and get this saved so that you can reuse it in all of your projects. So if we jump back into the edit page, I've already got a little bit of audio here synced up to this Fusion comp, which sounds like this, which I think really helps bring the whole thing to life. Now the problem is how do you then save that? You can't save it as a macro, for example, because it wouldn't save the audio. So as a little workaround, what you can do, just go into the deliver page and save this with the codec of ProRes 4444, and then just make sure export alpha is ticked, and then when that exports it'll look like it's got a black background, but as soon as you bring it back into Davinci you'll see that it actually has a transparent background. So from here you can place it anywhere on screen, resize it, even stash it in your power bins down there so that you've got it in a handy place to just drag and drop onto all your future videos. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.